What is grit? Grit is refusing to give up. It's persistence. It's making your own luck. Peter Diamandis. The pursuit of anime is an aim to explore philosophical topics through the medium of anime, to create discussion and to enlighten ourselves. We are by no means professionals, and the content of this podcast is pure discussion meant to stimulate and exercise our minds, and hopefully yours too. So today we're talking about a topic that came up on another podcast that we had, where we're discussing Carl Jung and the Shadow and its instances in anime. And just to give kind of a recap of the shadow, of this kind of concept that Carl Jung had, I think it can be kind of surmised to one quote from him, where he says, "The shadow is the negative side of the ego. It is our inner devil, the personification of evil." That's a quote from Carl Jung, where he's describing that we all kind of have this dark side in us, this kind of dog, this inner grit, which to me that's kind of what the dog is. It's kind of interchangeable with the word grit. It's kind of to me, I think having an inner dog or having grit to you is, well, I'll put it this way. I think grit is the capacity for perseverance. It's kind of your
Yes.
threshold.
Mhm.
So with that, I think you agree, Teddy, or do you have like kind of like
No,
a
100%.
deeper
I
thought on it?
agree. No, no, no. It's that's exactly in line with my thinking on this as well. The way I look at it is what you would do if you had a complete release of restraints on your
Mm,
mind and no inhibitions whatsoever, and you decided that you're going to do whatever it took to accomplish something. That's the
yeah.
way I look at grit, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, I feel like sometimes it gets intertwined with part of the shadow where it gets to a point where you're going to have to step on some toes. Some people are gonna have to get hurt in the process of you making that happen, which I want to make a quick tangent and then we'll get back on topic because I noticed that we've been getting a few interactions on some of our earlier discussions and
Hmm.
some of the shorts that we've been uploading, and one in particular by Griffith. I think you remember this.
Hmm.
People thought that I guess we were kind of in the wrong given the way we're looking at what Griffith did in his actions. And first of all, I feel like it's pretty clear that any sane man should not condone Griffith's actions, right? And this is happening in the fantasy world, so everything is a little bit exaggerated. Everything is a little bit more over the top than it would be in the real world. But I think what some people missed in that, at least in my opinion, is the fact that we're not looking at it in terms of, oh, you just sacrifice everything and everybody in your path just for success. No, it's more so I will do what it takes for me to get to a better place or for me to achieve my goals or for me to protect my people, whatever your goal is. And if that entails stepping on some toes sometimes, at the end of the day, that's what's got to happen. I'm so very sorry for anybody that might get offended by this, but if my mom is in danger or if a close family member, a loved one, girlfriend, whatever have you, are in danger or struggling or what have you, and you tell me what I need to do to make them better, and
Hmm.
it involves having to rob from a few people, I am so sorry. I'm robbing from a few people, okay? Because desperate times call for desperate measures, in my opinion. I'm one, I never shy away from those extreme scenarios because I feel like they challenge the mind and they make you really define your where your values stand and what you're willing to do in certain situations. Some people they shy away from it because it's an uncomfortable conversation to have. Like
Yeah.
it's easy to look at what Griffith said and condemn it. Of course, anybody like with a normal sense of morals should,
Yeah.
but it's different when you're looking beyond just the actions themselves and what's beneath that. What's the meaning of it? Why did he do what he did? And it's like translating that to real life and what we go through on a day-to-day basis, if you're telling me that this is what you need to do to get to a better place, if it's within the realm of what I can accomplish, and not saying that I'm always going to sacrifice other people for the sake of my goals, but I'm saying within a reasonable, you know, to a reasonable extent.
Yeah.
That's what we're discussing. So, I just thought I would address that real quick before we continue, because it was something that's been on my mind for a bit since I saw it, and I thought it was kind of pertinent to address it now instead of just letting it go.
Yeah,
And
I mean, and
yeah,
I'm glad you brought it up because it does kind of open up a conversation that I've been thinking about when I was kind of when we both came up with this topic, but while I was doing kind of research for it and just thinking about it in my free time. Um, when I think of grit, when I was thinking of grit, right? Of course, with my definition, that's the capacity for perseverance, right? So
yes,
you think of like moments where you had grit, Teddy, right? So maybe
mhm,
like these moments would be like maybe it was a crazy shift at work, and you had to
yes.
really pull something from within you to like get the job done quick. Or you were at the gym and you were lifting a really heavy weight or something,
Oh my
and
goodness.
you had to pull out like the inner, like with I mean the like the title says, pull out that Dawg from within to kind of push out that last rep. We've all been there where we're like literally struggling. The weight can barely get up. We're
And
like
this is
we feel like
this
we're
is
about
my
to die.
thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like people who never put themselves in those situations, they can't relate. They can't
Yeah,
understand. So trying to explain that to them is a foreign concept. But yeah, go ahead.
but the thing is, like, there's that kind of healthy grit, that kind of healthy Dawg in you. But there's also the concept, like how we opened up the podcast with that. This this whole idea was brought about from the concept of the shadow by Carl Jung, right? And he describes it, the shadow at least, as something negative, as something dark within us. So it's kind of brought up this idea in my mind that like the shadow and grit. Well, grit I think is just kind of a subsection of the shadow itself. It's just a piece of the puzzle. It's just an aspect of it. And like you were just saying, grit can be used for wrong, right? So like
Yes.
Griffith, or the example you brought up of like if your mom is in trouble, you're willing to kind of pull out that Dawg in you for bad and you know rob people. So there's kind of two polarizing aspects to grit itself, and I think that's going to be interesting to explore as well. But just to kind of finish off my definition of it, I think of it as also like it rewards us in a sense. The more grit we have, it kind of rewards us because it amplifies the qualities that it demands from us. So determination, tenacity, resilience, fortitude, assertiveness, contentment, it kind of frees us from insecurity or any like reliance from societal validation, and it hardens us in a way. It hardens our soul. It makes us more stoic, which stoicism is something that's kind of at this point getting long overdue that we have to talk about in this channel, but
This
we'll
is
get to
true.
that. It effectuates our robustness, our spiritual robustness and fortitude in all areas of our existence, and it compounds our inner qualities like courage, bravery, and nerve. And these are all like when I was thinking about these things and I was writing this stuff down, I'm thinking, wow, this is all positive stuff. But at the same time, there was something in me that was thinking about those examples that you brought up with Griffith or with even Guts from Berserk. There were tons of times where he kind of took things too far
Yeah.
when he was fighting people, and that obviously ended up in him harming himself. So there's a lot of aspects to the Dawg itself, but I do think there is benefit to harnessing your inner Dawg and harnessing that true grit within you and that perseverance. But Teddy, you just brought up a great point. There's some people that seem to not have that. I mean, I'm of the belief that everybody has it innately. I believe everybody has every human quality in them innately. It might just be dormant. It might just not be working, but we all have the capacity to tap into it in some way, even if it's faking it. So how would you say, Teddy, you could, if you, let's say you have no Dawg in you, how do you get that dog, or how do you start to manifest it?
Okay, so I'm going to break this down in two parts. First, I'm going to initially disagree with that statement that everybody has that ability to bring out the best of them in the face of adversity. I'll tell you this because it's not because I don't want to believe in human nature and its ability to adapt to circumstances and rise above it. It's because you know this beautiful app called Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the most infamous, I don't want to say infamous because it was coming from a good place, but one of the most popular tweets that I've made on there, and it's been on my profile if you're ever curious, was under a skit from Mark Phillips from RDC World, very popular in the anime community because they do a bunch of anime-based skits and other skits too. But that's how they came up. Um, but it was a video where he was talking about how he would on purpose put his back against the wall, kind of like how we talked about in one of our um, previous podcasts, where
Yeah.
he put himself in unfavorable situations on purpose to force himself to make it happen for himself. And I kind of understood the logic behind it. Of course, I thought it was foolish. So I commented under it. I said, if you find yourself in a situation where it's do or die and you're not trying to die, you're going to do and you're going to make it happen no matter what. That was the me who believed in other people the way you do. That was the me who was like, I believe that people, if they're faced with a situation where they is either do or die, and I even added the caveat of, and you don't have an option of dying, then you're going to make it happen. However, the comment section went crazy on me. A lot of people were choosing the death option. They were like, no, I'm so sorry, but sometimes it's just not worth it. I'd rather just lay down and die. I was like,
Yeah.
first of all, I already acknowledged that that was an option. I said, but if you don't want to go that route, and they just kept insisting. So I'm like, so there really are some people that just don't have a backbone at all. They really just see themselves as that weak, as unable to rise in the face of adversity. I said, okay, all right. And so when you tell me you believe, I'm like, you are a lot more optimistic than I am. And I respect that. I love that. I
Yeah.
wish I were like that. But I've seen too much to see things that way. So that's one. Now to actually answer your question, it's baby steps. Give yourself like small little challenges every day and try to overcome them. And with each challenge that you overcome, you build like a foundation of confidence about your ability. And that's the confidence that you build over time that's going to help you when the bigger challenges arise, because then you have something to fall back on in terms of a point of reference where you're thinking, you know what? I've done something like this before, or I've faced struggles before and I've overcome them. So that means that I can do it. So let me go ahead and try and do this. Right. But it takes for people who don't have that innate ability and they try to work their way towards it. That's the best advice that I have to
Yeah.
give, I guess.
Yeah. I guess to kind of comment on that, because it seems like this is a kind of a recurring issue with like kind of the way my ideology on this, like just because somebody's like has a dormant quality doesn't mean they don't have that quality or don't have the capacity. So the way I see it is this, like think about it this way, right? If I think we talked about this last time, right? Like a really kind person, if you were to tell me, if you were to tell if somebody were to tell you, oh, this really kind person, like they just punched somebody in the face, and you would be like, no, 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 that just doesn't make any sense because they haven't shown me any of that yet. They haven't shown you any of that, but they're human. They have a capacity for that. It's possible that it could happen. So it's like you have to kind of know that these things are dormant in them. They might not have it. I mean, they might not like have it like on full display, but they have it within them. It's like a really skinny, like you see a kid that's like 12 years old and he's so skinny and he's so frail and he looks like he's never gonna kind of reach past 5'5", 110 pounds. And then you see him outside when he's in college, outside of high school, and he's 6'4", 250 pounds, pure muscle. Like he didn't show you that he had, the potential to do that, but he has the potential to do that. He's a human. Like, all humans kind of have these innate things. So even the people with the backbone, it's not that they don't have the backbone, in my opinion, it's that they're just not using it. They just
I have
haven't.
a question for you. I
Yeah,
think because this could make for a very interesting conversation. Do you believe that character traits can be genetic?
no,
That's what I thought. Because I some people have this theory that it can be. Like hard work, for example. They say that there are some people who are just not capable of hard work like others. And sometimes it just comes down to a difference in your genetic makeup.
yeah, I don't
I
believe
don't
in
know
that.
how much because the problem with that is you're trying to give a scientific explanation for something that isn't based in science. It's based in more so psychology and behavioral tendencies in people. So I don't know how you do that, but I can kind of understand where they're coming from, because you could have people, let's say like in a aerob what do you call it, aerobic class, like those
Yeah, like
gym
in
classes that people,
aerobics. Yeah,
yeah, aerobics, yeah. It's always a weird word for me to pronounce for whatever reason. It's
yeah, it
weird.
is. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, because it looks funny.
And
So in a
anaerobic.
class like that, right, you have the instructor tell everybody to follow a certain exercise routine, and not everybody is able to put in the same amount of effort. Sometimes it's not even because they're heavier. Like you have people, they have a smaller body, so technically gravity shouldn't affect them as much as somebody that's heavier. But then you see the heavier person, they're really putting in that work, but then the lighter person, they're not. And then there's also all kinds of variables that can go into that. Like maybe the diets are different, so what one is eating is helping them, be more engage and put out more effort than the other. So there's all kinds of variables in there, but I feel like across the board, I've heard that before, that there's some people they just have the what they call it, like the hard work gene or something. So
Yeah, no, that
I don't.
doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
this is, to me, this is all hocus pocus. And the thing is, like, well, not you, Teddy, but like the people that like exacerbate these claims. So
Hmm.
everybody can go into the gym, everybody can work hard and push past their limits. It's just a simple fact. Some people are going to be like have a better predisposition to these things, but that doesn't mean that there's people that don't have it, that just
Yeah.
can't do it. The only people that just can't do it, like at the gym at that aerobics class, are people that might just be disabled or have like a
Yeah,
physical
like a
disability. but
handicap or something. Yeah.
but like people that can actually show up in the gym and do the exercises, they might not be good at it, they might not be like I guess a natural born talent, but that doesn't mean they can't do it you know and
No,
this
yeah,
is kind of it's
absolutely.
kind of like it's even like a thing in a lot of sports anime. You see like the character that he's just so good at it, and then there's the character that kind of sucks at it, but then if they train hard enough they can get good. They may never be at the pinnacle like the other character, but they can be good for themselves. And that's kind of where the goalpost in that conversation keeps moving, because it's like you said before, they just don't have it like others. Well, now you're moving the goalpost. You said first they didn't have it. Now it's that they didn't have it like others. So you see how it's kind of like a hocus pocus kind of straw man argument that these people bring up, because it's not real. We all kind of have the capacity for the dog in us. We all kind of have the capacity for the grit in us. And I do think there's ways to harness it. And that's kind of why we're talking about it to begin with on this podcast, because I definitely, as a kid growing up, I didn't just naturally just have a grit in me for like gym stuff. It's something that had to grow within me. I didn't just walk in the gym one day and I was able to squat 315. I didn't know I could do that. Like I was a
Yeah.
small kid and I'm just like, man, like, nobody could have ever seen that in me, but I did it. And it was because I pushed myself. And I think that's kind of my answer to like how to harness that dog in you. You're gonna have to put yourself in these kind of hard, strenuous places, right? It's kind of like the example that we gave with the job. If you really want a job and you've been stuck at a place that you hate for so long, and you feel comfortable at this place and you feel like it's holding you back, for some people, not for all, and definitely consider this option before you go into it, because it definitely has a lot of negatives to it. But for some people, it might be beneficial to just leave the job, and that will force you into a state where you are in a like basically fight or flight, where you have to get a new job, and then that will kind of bring out the best in you. So I would say that is true for even just hobbies, right?
Hmm.
Dance was something that I was never really like good at. I'm talking about like choreographed dance, not like dancing at parties. I'm talking about like really, really like complex, random, like 3 minute long, hundreds of moves dances. It's just something that just doesn't compute in my brain like very easily, right?
Yeah.
And you see me in the first like 20 classes, even the first year, you would say, man, this guy does not have like a dancing bone in his body, right? They would say kind of like what you were saying, Teddy, before, like he just doesn't have it in him. But then 2 years in, 3 years in, it looks like I've been dancing my whole life. So that's kind of I think what people need. They need to not, how they say, when you want to lose weight, Teddy, when you want to burn fat and go through a fat loss phase, stop
Hmm.
looking in the mirror for like the first like few weeks, because the results are not going to be visible. It's going to be over time, right? I think
And
it's the
it's
same
going to
way.
fluctuate too.
Yeah, I think it's the same way with these inequalities. It's not about what you're seeing, because this is the thing. If you are going just about what you see and what people show you, I'm just going to put it bluntly, you would make a horrible detective. Because if you think that somebody, just because they're extremely kind, that they never showed you that they're capable of hurting somebody, that they never would, or they never could, more importantly, then there's a bit of naivety going into that, because you have to be open to any possibility. But when you open yourself to any possibility, I feel like that's when you find that dog in you. I feel like a lot of people are limited um, in their lives, in their line of thinking, as to what they can accomplish because of these kind of narratives and this kind of hocus pocus jargon. Like, oh, some people are just born in it. That they feel like there's just people that are born with that dog and people that are not born with that dog. No, even if let's say you weren't born with that dog, you can still harness it. It's a quality that we can explain. It's kind of almost tangible in a sense, where we can kind of tell you what grit is,
You can
and
learn it.
you can learn it. Exactly. So that's basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not when when I say the thing, actually, never mind, because that's going to be a whole other tangent. So, but
Yeah, we'll have to
basically,
go into this on another podcast,
oh
like
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
whole
No, it's going to be
innate
because
dormant thing.
it's like there's a reason why this keeps coming up, and I think it's going to warrant its own conversation to like fully flesh it out because I know exactly what you mean, and I think like it's just a difference of perspectives on how we approach it because like everything you said is correct. Nothing about what we talk about is completely foreign because it's part of human nature. It's like a lot of things, like even if you don't show an aptitude for it or you don't show a certain character trait, it's something that you can assimilate over time. I mean, we're having this conversation right before starting today where I told you like I don't usually talk like this. Like my normal setting when I was, a kid and then growing up, my normal setting is not to express myself this way, right? It's more so just be quiet, reserved, be on my own. If you told me a few years back that I would be able to speak like this and be on the platform like this and have these kinds of conversation, I'll look at you sideways like
Yeah.
that ain't me. I don't know who that is, but that's not gonna be me. So,
Yeah.
stop selling me baloney. But here we are. So I know exactly what you mean. It's just yeah, something that we gonna get to talk about at some point further down the road.
Yeah, and there's actually a great quote about grit by Sarah Lewis, where they say, "Grit is not just simple elbow grease term for rugged persistence. It is often an invisible display of endurance that lets you stay in an uncomfortable place, work hard to improve upon and a given interest, and do it again and again. So basically, they're saying like grit is not just like a simple term for like persistence, but it's like it's an endurance. It's like over time. It's not gonna be like this crazy like it's not gonna be this flashy like you're pushing through everything. Sometimes it's just an invisible display of endurance that lets you kind of stay in an uncomfortable place and work hard to improve in that place, you know, and keep doing it again and again and again until you basically become a master of whatever area that is that you are in. And even John Ortberg goes on to further say, over time, grit is what separates fruitful lives from aimlessness. So do you feel like these quotes kind of go hand in hand with your idea of grit or the dog, Teddy?
Yeah, no, because I feel like if you to have purpose in life, right? They go hand in hand. To have purpose in life, you need to have the courage and the grit to face any obstacles that come in your way. It's going to be struggles. Like if you live a passionate life where you pursue what matters the most to you, you will come in, you will run into some roadblocks. Like you run into some walls, and then you're gonna have to break them down, climb them, do work around them, like whatever have you. So yeah, I would say if like you haven't lived a true life, in my opinion, or like a fulfilling life, if you will, if you've never had to tap into yourself and find that grit within you to overcome.
Yeah.
That's just because I don't know about you. For me personally, some of the moments in my life I feel the most alive is when I do that.
Hmm.
There's times when I like at work, for example, where I have to deal with something. Usually it's a mess that somebody else made and I have to clean up after them. And it's a lot of work because I have to undo everything they did and then redo it the right way. So it's like double the work for the same pay. Completely ungrateful when you think about it, but here we are. So
Yeah.
I do it. And while I'm doing it, sometimes it's extremely frustrating. But once I'm done and I just admire my work, the amount of satisfaction I get from knowing that this was an obstacle that I could have let just swallow me, but I didn't. It's a unique feeling. It's a great feeling. Another example, and this one is even I feel like I guess more inspirational or more wholesome, is when I used to be a tutor. Do you know what it's like when somebody comes to you and they tell you, I can't do math? Like I can't do anything at all with math. Like I don't get it. And I had a student, she went from I can't do math to telling me at the end of her term, I passed my class with an A thanks to you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That feeling of like I was able to take on this challenge because it was somebody we had to start from 1 plus 1 is 2, right? And we had to work our way back up to the more challenging type of math, like algebra and all that stuff. And by the time we're done, I couldn't believe we actually made it happen. And I was like, yo, this was probably my biggest challenge as a tutor. And I could have let it intimidate me, but I didn't because I was like, this is my opportunity to rise to the occasion. If I can make this happen, it's going to be an amazing feeling. And just accomplishing that, it makes me feel so alive like every single time. So I'm pretty sure you have moments like that too, even at your job right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even with like math class when I was young, like you would look at me and you would say, "Man, he does not have like a single kind of predisposition for math. He sucks at math, right? Like I don't have a math bone in my body." Um, but there was one semester that I really took it seriously because I wanted to, get better at it. I knew it was a weakness. I knew it was something I just actually didn't even have. I just look at anything, and it would take me like if if it would take another kid like a minute, it would take me 10, to solve a even the most simple math question. And I got to the point where where I studied really hard, and I became top of the class in my math class for that semester.
Nice.
So like these are the I think there's benefit to coming out of your comfort zone in order to harness the dog in you. Like
Dude,
that's where you harness the dog, is when you're outside of your comfort zone. The dog cannot be harnessed in a area of comfort, I think.
no, it's not in the safe zone, man. You gotta step out of that because because the thing is, right?
Hmm.
What we've just established is that you need a challenge for you to tap into that. You're never gonna find a challenge if you're in your comfort zone. So it's
Yeah.
never gonna happen. It just makes sense. And I mean, just another quick example before we move on. But like you and I, we both go to the gym and everything, so that's always a place to test your metal, right? Every time. And dude, when I started going to the gym consistently, I couldn't, the 5 miles an hour setting on the treadmill. I'll put that
Yeah.
and I'll run for 5 minutes and be winded. I've gotten now to where I can run for an hour and be like, wow, this was nice. I could go again probably, but I won't because I don't want to kill myself because the speeds I be going at, given my build. But I like I just look at the journey and I think to myself, you really could have told me that I was going to do this one day, and that kid in me would be like, no, there is no way. That's
Yeah.
that's not me. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying, and that's why I reject like these ideas of like that we just don't have certain things in us. Like that's why, like, for example, I know I practice boxing. I really love boxing. It's my favorite sport ever since I was young. And there's this big myth in boxing, right?
Mhm.
That power is born. That there's people that are just born with power. You're either born with power, or you just don't have power. That's just the way it is, in terms of punching power. That is right.
Mhm.
So this is a myth. Punching power is 100% tied to technique and fast twitch muscle fiber development. So this is something that you can learn. If you don't, there's some people obviously that they're just naturally born very, very athletic, and they just naturally kind of know how to throw a punch really well. And so they're able to generate a lot of power in their punches. But power can definitely be learned, and it can be learned just as well as anybody else. It's just the way that it is. So that's the way I see that a lot of things, especially with
Oh
this
no,
whole
yeah,
dog
I
topic.
agree. Yeah.
This dog topic, like there's going to be some people that, like you said, are in they're in the basically the F tier, right? Like where they're at the point where you look at them and you would literally say, this person, they don't even have, it's not even dormant in them. The dog just doesn't exist. It's not even a dog, it's a kitten, It's a completely different
Okay,
species.
so
But
I mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just about to make an analogy where I feel like this is going to make sense in terms of having that like those dormant qualities or traits versus developing them.
Yeah,
You know our beloved series One Piece, right?
yeah.
And you know how haki works.
Hmm.
So the way I look at something like having that dog in you or having grit or things of that nature is the same way that I look at um Conqueror's hacking, where it's not necessarily like you're not it's not like you're born with it, but in certain situations you can assimilate it, and once you do, you can learn to develop it. Like the way I see it, right? You know the example I just gave you earlier with how I started running.
Yeah.
I'm not a runner. Like I'm not a long distance runner. I could tell you objectively, I don't have that in me. It's not in my genetics, but I learn it. So that's what I mean when I say there's certain things where it like you may not have it innate, but it's like everybody doesn't have innate qualities, but everybody has the innate ability to learn. And that's where I feel is always like that conversation where it always keeps coming up. Because I tend to lean more so on that side that everybody has the ability to learn, but they don't always necessarily have it in them, if that makes sense. Versus, I think sometimes, like from our conversation, I feel like you lean more so in terms like, now they just have it. It's dormant, it's just there, and just have it, and you have to bring
Yeah,
it out,
it's
right?
waiting to be learned.
Yeah. So that's where I'm like, for you, it's like it's a flame in there. It's and no matter how minuscule it might be, it's in there, and you can bring it out. The way
Yeah,
I
it's in
see it,
there.
the way
Otherwise,
I
you
see
can't
it,
bring it
right?
out.
It's like I'm going to light the match, and then we're gonna make it grow.
Yeah,
So
I
so
mean,
that
I feel
that's
like I
that's
see it
where,
the
yeah.
exact same way. I feel like it's just a semantic. But anyways, not to get into that because I just want to
Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah. Go
of
ahead,
really
go
get
ahead.
into the topic.
For sure, for sure.
So let's get into the tier list because it's kind of
Oh, yeah, that's going to be, yeah, because
yeah,
there's a bunch of characters that we know and
yeah,
love that wow, look at, first of all, man, yo, shout out to you, Raven. Like, you made this thing, it's beautiful, it's clean, it has a nice list of characters here. I think we're gonna have a good time.
it had
So
to be
great
done.
great work on that, man. It's good work. I love it.
Yeah, so
I love it.
we're basically gonna go through a bunch of like a kind of a ragtag group of anime characters, really ragtag, and just kind of go through which ones we think have the most grit. So this is a tier list. Of course, anybody, if you're not acquainted with what a tier list is like, S tier is the highest tier. Of course, A is up below that. B is kind of like average. C is below average, and D is just like the worst, at least for this tier. Um, so these are all a bunch of anime characters. They all have varying degrees of grit. Some of them may have absolutely zero grit at all, but we're just gonna kind of go through them, and I think it'll be fun because some of these have like really great examples of how to harness your inner dog and kind of bring that out of you. And there's some of them that are really like just naturally kind of quiet individuals, kind of meek and calm, but they've brought it out over time and they've developed it like you're saying, like I'm saying. So let's first start off with Giorno Teddy. Where do you think he should fall on this?
Uh,
Where would you put him?
I would put him probably Giorno Giovanna.
Because he's got a lot of grit. Remember, he
He,
lost his hands
I was just about to
and
say on
didn't
the
bat an eye.
airplane. Yeah, like he was willing to give up that hand. That's funny. That's the exact same example that came to our mind too. Like, as was, yeah, I might have to be S, man, because that is a lot of determination. I have to give him A. I mean
Yeah,
S.
A or S. Yeah, I feel like it's the
S.
same way. Either A or yeah, S. Let's just
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
because
because losing a whole limb, that's not easy. And then the whole scheme that he had planned and how he believed that it could happen. Yeah,
yeah,
things
and
can happen.
I feel like he's a great like realistic expression of like having that dog in you because like he's a very calm individual in his daily life, day-to-day life, right? But when it comes down to it, he turns on the mask in a sense. He turns on the shadow or the dog and he almost becomes a different person. And that's what I love about his character so much and I feel like that's a quality that we can all aspire to, you know?
For sure.
Moving on to the next guy here. I think this guy has a lot of
Kirishima,
grit. Oh yeah, what do
Red
you think?
Riot.
Red
Ah,
Riot. What was that fight,
yeah.
Teddy? Could you? I
With Fat
haven't.
Gum, when he was
Yeah,
trying to protect him, and then he became even harder to protect him. Yeah. I remember that fight. He shone very brightly. You know what, man? I like him. I'll give him a cool B. I'm putting by the
a
top of
cool
B.
B.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I give him a
listen,
cool B. I'll tell you.
you can never say that I hate My Hero Academia because listen, this is the first time I disagree with you, and I would put him at an A. So we're gonna have to we're
Oh
gonna.
shit. Okay, well, okay. So
I think
you
he's
tell
got
me
a
your
lot.
arguments for A because
Listen, this might be my head canon. I haven't read or watched My Hero in a long time, but that fight has swayed me a lot, man. He the
That's
just the
one fight, bro.
but still, bro, it was so crazy. Like he like sometimes it just you just need that one fight, bro, to see. I've seen all I need to see. You know what I'm saying?
But
I feel like now I'm getting hocus pocusy. Like now I'm just like I'm hype. I'm just hype. You
I
know?
mean, no, everybody's entitled to their biases, man. It's all good. Now, I see the reason why I want to put him in B is because I believe in the proof, getting challenged multiple times and rising above the like rising to the occasion every single time. I feel like that was a great test that he won, but I don't know how much he's been pushed and I don't know how much he can
Yeah.
take. So that's why just off of
Okay.
that potential, that's why I said B, but I wouldn't be mad at A because that fight was pretty good. So,
Yeah.
it's
I
up
don't
to
know.
you.
Let's put it in B. Let's put it in B. And we'll see. We'll see what's up. This is one that I don't know. I'm not too sure about. Frieza. You know,
Frieza.
Frieza. What are your thoughts on Frieza? Do you think he has that Dawg, or do you think it's
I'm gonna put Frieza in D, and I'll tell you why.
go ahead. Go
He
on.
was so scared of potentially facing a legendary Super Saiyan that he nuked a whole planet.
Yeah.
That's not great. He did not want that challenge. He was like, no, no, please save me, right? And of course, like he ended up being really, really strong. And you can say, oh, he could because he keeps coming out with new forms every other day now. I don't know if you know. Recently, he has a black Frieza form now,
Oh
after the
gosh.
golden Frieza, because that's just the route that Dragon Ball goes down now. Is
Hmm.
we give you different colors. I'm waiting for pink Frieza, especially with the Barbie movie coming out. That should be in the works pretty soon. But
Yeah.
yeah, I give him a good D.
And I think that's a
Pause.
great point. Like he blew up the planet literally just so he couldn't face a legendary Super Saiyan, right? Like
Yeah.
that is exactly what you don't want to do if you want to harness your inner dog. If you want to
No.
harness your inner dog, you have to embrace the
You
challenge.
embrace them. Yeah, you foster their growth. Like, yeah, show me what you got,
You know what's a great quote? And I can't believe I didn't put him on this tier list, but Zoro, he has this quote where like I think he's about to die or something, right? Like he's literally
Oh
seconds away
yeah.
from death. And he just says, "Oh well, I guess I was just too weak. I was too weak. I wasn't strong enough."
Yeah, it's like if this is where I died, that just means that's all I could do.
That
That's
just
what I
means
was
all I
capable
could
of.
do. And
Yeah.
I know it's kind of an extreme way to look at it, but I do think that shows a lot of dog, and
You
that's a good
remember in Little
mentality to have.
Garden? Wait, you
Yeah,
remember Little Garden? He was ready to cut off his legs just so he could go and defeat their opponents back
yeah,
then. And then the nothing happened. Zoro, he owns the list.
yeah. He
We
will
don't
be
even have
S.
to put him on this list. Like he's like S plus plus plus.
Yeah,
Like that's yeah, that's
he's like
unquestionable.
top. Okay, so next guy. This is another guy that could potentially on the list. Look at Jotaro, bro. Jotaro Kujo. Jojo.
Jotaro.
What do you think of him, man?
I see. Then this is where my bias does not come into play because he's my favorite JoJo, but I put him in A.
Nice. Okay.
I feel like he's been through a lot, he's overcome a lot, but I don't think he's been tested or challenged the same way that Giorno has to prove just how far he's willing to go to achieve his goals. So
You
I
think
have to
so?
put
I don't
him.
know. He when he played that poker match, man,
I
and
know
he
with
was
with
willing to give
Darby
his
Senior,
mother's life.
yeah, I know.
That's a lot of
But
dog.
oh my God, that was nerve wracking. It takes a certain amount of grit to do that,
That's what I'm
to
saying. It's
gamble
insane.
with the life and just and sell the bluff so well when you have crap cards. S, my fault. I forgot about that. He
That's
might
what,
be S. Yeah, yeah.
bro. And didn't he tanked the rolled roller, bro?
The roll.
Yo, look, man, the road roller.
No, you
Yeah,
have to
look,
say like Dio, man. The road that roller. No?
roll that roller.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. It's
So
probably yes.
this guy is the he's basically the embodiment of like stoicism and just like brute strength, like just a boss. He's like he's the man that everybody aspires to be because the thing is, Jotaro will do anything to get the job done to protect his loved ones, and that's what I think brings out the grit in him, protecting his loved ones, right? So he's the type of man that, listen, when I first watched the second season of JoJo, I was about to drop the series because I was like, he. So this is what happens, right? Jotaro shows up and he's in jail, and I'm like, okay, this is new JoJo. He's in jail. Like, why is he in jail? This is kind of interesting. And then his mom comes to see him, and then he's like, listen. He sees his mom and he's like, listen, you useless, worthless bitch, get out of here, you skank. Why did you come to see me? And when I saw him say that, I was like, you know what? It's over. I'm dropping this series. I don't know how anybody watches this series if this is good. This is
How you
awful.
gonna talk to your mama like this?
Yeah, like this is unbelievable. Like I was outraged. I couldn't believe it. But over time, I saw when he made a phone call on the submarine, and it was his grandmother, and she was worrying about like where Joseph was, where everybody was, how her daughter was doing. And Jotaro just tells her this: listen, you don't have to worry anymore. You don't have to call anymore. Don't worry about the old man because he's with me right now. And he knows that they're about to go up against Dio, countless stand users, but he, in that moment, shouldered all of the burden. He's basically saying, listen, you don't have to worry anymore because I am here. You know what? Like that just shows a new level of dog. Like he's hit the pinnacle of the dog, and that's what I think a lot of people should aspire to be when they say they want to bring out the dog in them. But next character here, Teddy,
I
we
know
have
exactly what that is. I hate that I
we
know exactly what that is. Why you have that on there?
listen, bro. I feel like
That's the
when you
bug from
say
the variety. Why is he on there?
I feel like when you say that there's people that they don't even have it dormant in them, it's not even in them. This is what you see, bro. This is the bottom of the barrel for
Okay,
no
so
dog. Because this is remember what happened to this Bachi. I don't even know why he has a name,
he has a name. I
but
know.
he got squashed. He got
Yeah,
squashed by who was it? Helmeppo?
it was full body.
Full body, yeah.
Yeah,
He got squashed. So this, I think he belongs at D.
I
Like,
like how
come
he's
on.
just fittingly right next to Frieza. That's insane.
Just to emphasize the D class even more. But what do you think about this guy,
Who's
Shiro
that?
Emiya
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
from
yeah.
Fate?
Oh God. Uh, See, he used to annoy me because he was always willing to um he was always willing to stand in the face of adversity every time. I just don't know because he did not have the means to do it. He did not have the facilities, and every single time he ended up getting saved anyway. So it's like I don't know how much his resolve got tested. I don't know how much his grit got tested. I
Yeah,
want to give him like a good B. I
yeah. I
Because if
would
I'm
even
gonna
put
have
him at
Kirishima
C.
in B, I can't have this man anybody anywhere above him.
Yeah, I would put him at
Might need to
C, man.
C,
Yeah, because
honestly.
like he has some grit, like in terms of like his willpower and his mind. But then when it comes to fights, he's not even able to do anything half of the time. So it's like
Yeah.
he can't really bring it out. Like so he has it, but it's very very basic. I would put it at
Yeah.
C.
C is solid for him, yes.
Yeah. Now what about this next guy? We all know and love him,
Oh,
Asta from Black Clover.
I feel like Asta should be he should be a S because he exists in a world where he's at a disadvantage because he doesn't have magic. And
Yeah.
he decided, you know what, just through sheer hard work, his entire existence is a challenge. He said, I'm going to be the Wizard King without magic. I'm going to make it happen. So he dedicates himself every single day to training, no matter what anybody tells him. It's like, I don't care. I don't listen to you. I'll keep drinking this concoction that's supposed to help boost your whatever latent magic abilities you may have. And I'll keep training physically and all that stuff to make my dream come true. And then
Yeah.
when they went in the underwater temple and he lost his arms, he was like, it doesn't matter. I won't stop working. I'll just use my feet. What not man, put this many S.
Yeah.
It's a S easy for me. I feel like he's shown that he can rise to the occasion like multiple times.
All right. Now next we got
But that's your boy.
oh yeah,
That's your
this guy.
boy.
Listen, Ichigo has risen from the depths. He's risen from all types of turmoil. And listen, when he lost all his powers and his back was against the wall, he cried. But at the end of the day, he got the fuck back up, and he said, "Yo, give me my powers back. You're gonna give me my powers." And that look on his eye, alone with no powers, scared Ginjo, who was infinitely more powerful than him at that point. Ishigo has Dawg for days. I would put him S tier, but of course, if you think different, of course it could balance it out. But I think
So
he's S
this
tier.
might be controversial. This might be controversial. I'll put him in C because no, I'm playing.
Ah, come on, what the
I'm
fuck?
playing. No, no, no. But no, but I'll put him in A. Not
Yeah,
because I don't think that he's not as worthy. I just feel like unlike those characters we just have in S, especially like Asta, where he's working with essentially nothing.
yeah,
We've learned, especially in the Thousand Year Blood arc, Ichigo has always been powerful. He's always had that latent power in him. It was just a matter of facing different challenges that are going to bring that out of him. And of
yeah.
course, you have to survive those challenges, those obstacles. You have to overcome them, and you have to, unlock so much more of your latent potential every time as a result. If you don't do that, then you're never gonna never gonna live up to your potential. So I get that. But I feel like because he had so much latent ability already, it makes it so that it's not as, I
Kind of
guess,
special or
as it,
impactful
yeah, yeah,
in a way.
impactful. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, that's what I was about to use. Not as
Yeah,
impactful as those other three. So I probably put him. It'll either be
but I
like
think he
high
has so
A
much
or
dog.
low S.
Yeah,
Mhm.
high A, low S. Let's just put him in
Yeah.
A. I feel like he's a good gatekeeper, even though I do think he's S because listen, man,
I
the amount of
honestly,
times he's
honestly,
died
right?
and come back, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he
Yeah,
just
no, put
doesn't
him in
care.
S. I just remember like he did die. Like it takes a lot, just like when with the
He's willing
Orihime,
to
it's like
die.
I have to come back, man. I can't die. Like I can't die.
Like
Like
it's the next
you know
level
how
of dog when
much
you're willing to die, bro. You're willing
it's
to
like,
die.
it's like, man, no, I can't.
Here's a
Shoot.
good. I think I'm just gonna spoil this. My opinion. This guy I think is a great gatekeeper for A. This is Kagami from Kuroko no Basket.
Yeah.
This guy's got quite a bit of dog in him. Do you remember that
Oh,
anime,
he's
Teddy?
fierce. Oh, I remember. Oh, I remember. Yeah, he's very fierce. And I remember how I hated that his ability was so average compared to the other ones.
What
He
was
can
it
just
again?
jump really high. That's all it
Oh,
is.
you gotta be.
I
He's already
hated it.
tall though. Why
Yeah, I
does?
know, but do you remember do you remember Kisei,
Yeah.
the copycat? Do you remember Aomine? Come
Oh,
on
he's the
now.
goat. He had a lot of dog. I should have put him in
Yo,
there too.
Murasaki Bara, it fucking no, I mean my
What's
fault. My fault.
the darker skin, the tan dude? He was
Yeah,
my
that's
favorite.
Aomine. That's
Almine?
Aomine.
Oh, he was the
Yeah,
goat, bro.
Daiki.
Daiki, yeah,
Yeah,
Daiki. Oh man, he was the goat.
yeah, yeah. He was amazing. Like that's what I'm saying. Where you see like all the five generation. Don't get me started on the ankle collector Akashi, right? The
Oh,
leader
yo.
of the five. But every single one of them had some dope ability, some dope technique. Even Kuroko, his passes were immaculate. Like it looked good. This dude, oh, I can just jump really high. Come on, dog.
You
Come
say
on. Give me something.
this is another example of like where it's like, bro, like you look at everybody else, then you look at him, you're like, bro, are you sure you even have a power, bro? Like,
Oh, you belong
are
here right
yeah,
now. I
like
can't lie to you.
it doesn't even seem like it's a power. It's probably like they just made that
No,
up.
it doesn't feel special at all. So that's why I was like, man,
I
yeah.
feel like the same could be said about everybody else. Don't they jump high pretty high too? So,
I
oh
yeah,
man,
but that's not all they have. Like they have the
yeah,
specialties, like for Almine, it's like he's dribbling out just like his street ball skill overall. Like, yeah, he's amazing.
yeah.
But
But I think he should be A tier. You agree, Teddy?
yeah, it is good.
Kagami?
If all you have is jumping and you're surrounded by freaks like that and you're still able to make it work, you deserve A. Yeah.
Yeah, and so many times he trained to like the brink of like exhaustion.
Exhaustion. Yeah, yeah, that's
That's
right.
crazy. Well, this guy's gonna be a game changer. What do you think about Guts from Berserk?
So I'm gonna need you. Is it you can you move him at the top of S?
I wish.
Oh,
Yeah, it just ends there. I wish. This is a guy that's like who were we talking about before? Zorro. That's just like they're just on a
yeah.
different level.
If there's anybody that has been tried time and time again and has come back from the brinks of madness, is this guy,
Yeah,
Guts. I don't think anybody on this list, unless this full Subaru is somewhere down here, I don't think anybody on this list has been tried as much as him.
yeah.
And every time he rises, he's like, no, I gotta go. I gotta make something happen. Yeah, it's gotta be yes.
He ripped his arm off. Like that's
Yeah,
how much dog he has. He ripped his own arm off. So it's
yeah.
insane. What about
It's
this next guy?
Escanor.
Escanor. You can't even see his face in the picture, but
Yo, yo, he's bigger than than
yeah,
life.
he's
He's
bigger
literally
than the.
bigger than life.
You
He
can't even
can't fit in
fit
a
in frame.
picture.
Yeah.
Oh
What do
wow.
you think about him? Because he's interesting because when it's nighttime, he has like about zero dog in him. But then when it's daytime, he's got like dog for days. You know. So what do you think?
I I'll put him in B
Yeah.
because I feel like he has the ability, and when he's in the sun form, he just dominates. So he like I feel like he never really needs to tap into, any amount of grit to overcome most things because he's already above it all, right? And but
Yeah.
he does have it in him, but most of the times his life is not a struggle. So I put it a good B.
I feel that. Now, what about this next guy?
Dimples
Yeah, Dimples
from
from Mob Psycho.
Mug, yeah.
He's got a little something, something.
He got a little some. He has no spine, man. Like he's so Weasley sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
But when he possesses others, then it kind of comes back
yeah.
out.
Then he's like, yeah, I'm that guy, and he will rise for it. He rise for Shigeo. So,
Yeah. Maybe like
uh,
C?
She's good.
I
She's
think
good.
C, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's nice. Wow, it's so cool. He doesn't have a background. He's just kind of there. That's
Yeah,
nice.
I should have found more more characters
It
like
would
that.
have been nice, yeah, but they don't all come like that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So it's all
What
good.
about Dio? Dio. Just
Oh,
straight up
dude.
Dio, bro. What do you
Dio,
think?
like part three, the best Dio. I want to put him in B.
Mm-hmm.
He was scared of the Joestar bloodline.
Yeah.
Like he had a like a deathly fear. Because remember, that was the whole overarching like ongoing theme of part three with him is he kept sending people to ambush and kill Joseph and Jotaro and the gang because he didn't want to have to deal with them himself personally. So he's like, yeah, please get them out of my way.
Yeah.
In fact, I might want to put him in C. Like he
Oh,
has conviction. Like he believes in you know his goals and he's willing to do a lot to achieve them, but not necessarily in terms of overcoming adversities. More so, I would kill and pillage and steal and do all the bad stuff that I can to achieve my goals. But it comes to facing the Joestar, no, do you
yeah.
remember that their last fight between Jotaro and Dio? Like how many
Yeah.
precautions he kept taking because he was scared. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
good to see.
but you gotta think about it. This he has a lot of perseverance. Like he has a lot of grit because remember
He
this,
does,
Teddy.
but he's
In the
scared.
beginning of the show, he was literally ahead. Like the
He
man
was.
just refuses to die. Like I think he might be a B, man. I think he might
I
be the what you said, like a
I
B.
I I mean, yeah. I mean,
Because
I'm
he
listen.
just refuses to. I do see what you're saying though, because it does diminish him that it seems to come his perseverance seems to come from the fact that he's so scared of the Joestars. So
Literally,
it's a weird thing, like where he has dog, but it's only because he's
like
scared like a
he's
kitten.
determined to never have to face Joestar. He can avoid it.
Yeah. So I don't know. B or C, what do you think?
I mean, I,
What's
I
the
mean, I
final
love him.
decision?
So like, I'm not mad at B. Like, I would
Let's keep him
see,
in
but
B.
B is good. Yeah.
Let's do B. Let's do B. Just to see. What about next guy, Saitama?
Ooh, the One Punch Wonder. Let's
Oh
see.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, he's the little definition of I don't get challenged like that.
Yeah.
But it's for him, it's not as more, it's not so much physical, it's more so mental and psychological in terms of what it means to be a hero and
What what
what
what happened? What how did you think about like his fight with
Garo.
Garo when he finally
Yeah,
found somebody that was, I guess, kind of on more of an equal footing to him?
for a
How did
bit, and
do you
then
think that
yeah.
he do you think that he displayed some grit in that fight, or was it kind
No,
of
he
just like the
didn't.
same?
He didn't because he was
Yeah.
more so upset at himself over the fact that he showed up late. Where in in uh in that universe that he fought Garo, Genos was on the brink of death if he hadn't died already. So I
Yeah.
think that was his thing. Um, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt, but I think
Don't say D.
I know. See,
Oh, okay, see, okay.
yeah,
I could
yeah, yeah.
anything but D I could because
No, not
Saitama,
D, not
this
D.
happens a lot in like boxing where like there was this fighter called Edgar Berlanga where he had like 15 fights where he knocked out every opponent in the first round, and it was like all within like 15 seconds. And all these people were like unheralded opponents, like they were just like really really low ranked. So but there was a lot of hype around it. People were saying, "Yeah, look at him. He's knocking everybody. It's like 100% knockout ratio, and it's all within a round, within like 15 seconds. Like this dude is a monster. He's got so much Dawg. If you were to put him on the Doggo meter, he would have like a 10 out of 10 on the Doggo meter. Hold on, let me mute. There's some honking going on this train. All right, it
Yeah,
passed. It passed real
all
quick.
right.
So, anyways, so when this guy finally ended up fighting, not even like a champion, he fought like a really old gatekeeper. He went the full 12 rounds and didn't look too good. So it showed that like while he does have the innate kind of like One Punch Man, he does have the innate kind of like power and he has like all these gifts. When it comes to like being tested and being pushed to the brink, he just doesn't have it within him to push past that and to kind of grow to that elite level. Now with Saitama, it's still up in the air, unlike with Berlanga where it's been exposed. But so for now, from what we've seen, I think it's a C until he maybe faces a god or something, and we get to see him push to the brink. Now, next one we have seen push to the brink, Tatsumaki. What do you
I was
think
just
about
about
that?
to say that's a cool A. At the
Yeah,
very least, yeah, yeah,
at the
I
very
like it
least, yeah.
because I'm holding back, right? I don't want to get
Same.
S oversaturated because I'm looking at the people in S right now and the things that they've had to overcome and the struggles and all that. So I'm like trying to compare it to that. I feel
Yeah,
like she was still within the realm of her. I mean, she did get pushed pretty far in that one fight against Psychos,
it was
but
crazy.
it was crazy, but I
She
feel
pulled
like
a
a
lot
lot
of
of the
dogs.
time, the feeling I got from that fight is just like she just had to tap into more of her reserves that she doesn't usually have to tap into.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like, in somebody else's situation where they'll have to push way beyond what they're normally capable of and then they grow from it. From her, it's more so, I never have to go that far, but since you're pushing me to it, I guess I have to. She looked like a boss doing it too. She was in control the whole time.
yeah.
So yes, A for her. A is good.
What do you think about our boy Moomin Rider?
Oh, he's such a good S.
Oh,
He's
okay.
he's
Let's
such a
go.
good S
I'm not even gonna
because
dispute it.
thank you. So like, I mean, you can, but
But it won't work.
like, because he went up against a monster that was killing everybody. He had no chance. Literally
Yeah,
no chance, but he said, I'm not gonna back down because I'm a hero. That's what I do. If I die, I die, but I will fight you. That's
yeah.
S.
He's
That's
got
S
dog.
mentality. Absolutely. Unquestionably. I don't even want to hear a debate on this.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
was gonna ask you, man,
yeah.
because we already passed an hour. Do you want to do this in two parts?
No, we're almost done. Let's just run through it, man.
Okay,
It's
all
fun.
right.
It's
If
fun.
you,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've got time.
okay, no
I've
problem, no
got
worries. I
time. We're
just
good.
wanted to make sure.
You're good.
Luffy, I mean Luffy, haha. Sheesh. Luffy. Um, I feel like just off of everything I've seen him do, what is over just off of Alabasta alone, he deserves to be an S.
S. Oh yeah,
Like everything that he suffered in Alabasta, he deserves to be an S. And but it's more than that. It's just I feel like Luffy is the very embodiment of always find a way to rise above it
yeah,
every time. The way he climbed that um what was it, that the ledge back in Drum Island when Sanji and Nami were sick and his fingers were going numb, but he kept climbing because his Nakama needed help, and the only help they could get was at the top of the mountain, so he kept climbing.
yeah.
Yeah, that takes a certain amount of grit and dedication and determination to make happen.
And you know what, Teddy? Like, I feel like Luffy's a great example of like what we were talking about before between the innate and dormant abilities, right? How we both
Mm.
view it. I feel like we both actually agree. We both actually see like agree with our kind of views on it, but we just visualize it differently. And so when we both explain it, it kind of just sounds like we just don't agree or don't see it eye to eye because obviously, that's just the way language is. But with Luffy, right? You look at him and he's a doofus. You would never think that he has any brains to him, right?
Yeah, no, especially that picture you chose.
Exactly. But then when he's pushed to the limit by Lucci and his back is up against the wall and he has no way to beat this guy. He has to come up with a way to beat not only him but these world government people, and he needs to come up with it quick. And this is not a smart guy. He It's not on screen, but this definitely had to have happened. He put his mind to it and he came up with a new ability, which was Gear Second, which is not an ability that you have to train for. It's an ability that you have to develop mentally. You had to actually like come up with the idea and put it to practice, right? Put it to work. Um, so that is, I guess, a unique instance of the dog where it wasn't just him pushing past his limits. It was him kind of breaking past the mental limit and and really like putting his mind to coming to a conclusion with something. Like I remember he was
Opening
on the
up his
train.
mind and finding new
Exactly.
ways.
Sometimes that is having the dog in you too. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's a mental
It's
thing as well.
finding better, more creative ways or clever ways to resolve a problem.
Yeah. Speaking of a guy who's at the opposite spectrum of that, what about Mashal from Magic, Mash Burn Dead?
Oh, yo, I love him. He's such a derp face. Every time he just kind of like he he has a quote, right? And I'll put him in A just because, just out of respect for what I've seen from it. Like I feel like I need to see a little bit more from him.
Yeah,
But everything I've seen so far, I've been pretty impressed. He will always stand for his people. That's one defining character trait of his, where anytime somebody close to him is about to get hurt or get negatively affected by a decision and whatnot, he rises to defend them. There was a counselor or something other
yeah.
who was about to expel them, and he put that man in the ground. And you know what he told him?
What?
Because the counselor was like, "How dare you treat me like this? Do you not know that I have a lot of power in this school? Like I can get you expelled at any time." He told him, "And I can bury you anytime."
Yeah,
I was like, "Yo, Mash, relax. You can't tell this this guy." I actually became one of the background characters in the anime. Like, you can't be that raw. This is insane. So yeah, off of what I've seen so far, he doesn't care. Even
yeah,
if he gets hurt, he doesn't care. So from what I've seen from him so far, A, at the very least for
yeah.
now. We'll see.
Now, what about your boy Helmeppo?
Oh man, are we talking this guy or from the recent chapter? Because yeah, because
listen,
he be making all kinds of games. You feel me?
listen. Overall, bro, what do you think? Like even him now?
Listen, overall, I'll give him. Man, Helmepo, I can believe I'm actually gonna
Oh,
put
don't even say
respect.
it.
on your name, I'm putting him at B. Put him
Oh,
at B
okay,
because
okay,
yeah, he came from really, really far. Like he came from impossibly far to where he is now in the story and the things that he's doing and how he's writing for his boy Kobe. So, out of respect for the journey, I'll give you a B because you could have chosen to remain weak and measly and meek, but he decided to be better. So,
nice.
out of respect, I give you a B.
Now, what
B for
about
respect.
Hinata from Haikyuu?
Oh, Hinata. Ooh,
He's
Hinata.
got Dog. Like when it comes to like playing. This is why like I wanted to have like characters like this, like more just like slice of life to contrast these kind of big bombastic shonen characters because like
Yeah.
Hinata, I feel like a lot of people will relate. Like they have that dog where like if you look at Hinata, he's just a happy-go-lucky kid, and I feel like he's everything Deku should have been. Where he looks very kind, he looks very meek, he even looks like a baby, right? Like a baby face. But when it comes down to it, he loves volleyball, and he will put his game face on to play his sport at the highest level and to improve. And he's able to push past his limits. For me, I think he's either A or B at least. Like not
I
at least. Yeah,
agree.
I wouldn't put him at S, but like he's A or B. You know, with
Yeah,
A
yeah,
being the
yeah.
peak.
He's definitely somewhere there. I'm tempted to put him in B just because
Yeah,
he took a while to finally humble himself and understand that I can't just win off of my athletic ability alone. I actually have to sit down and learn about the techniques and all that. So yeah,
yeah,
probably B.
yeah. And I feel like that was a great moment where he awakened that dog. Like I remember there was a moment
Yeah.
where like he kind of figured it out. It clicked in his mind, and you just see a zoom in on his eye, and there was just something that changed in his eye, like a
Yeah,
switch.
it's yo, for people who haven't watched the Haikyuu anime, it has some of the best symbolic representations in there,
Yeah,
and they're very subtle. It's not like in the over the top way that it can get sometimes with anime. It's done very, very tastefully. I should check
yeah.
it out.
What do you think about Rem from ReZero? I know you love Rem. How much dog
Yeah,
does
you
she
know
have?
that I cannot speak on her name without bias because like her character, what she represents, the kind of support and the kind of willingness to die for the people that she loves, or for the one that she loves.
Mm-hmm.
Put her at A, man. Put her at A.
Let's do it.
At
Let's do
A.
it. And
Yeah.
she does have some dog in her. Like I'm
Oh,
saying,
she
like
does. She
there's those
does.
scenes where she has that wrecking ball thing that she just like in
It takes a
decapitates people
lot,
with.
right? It takes a lot to tell somebody you love them and they tell you to your face, but I still love Amelia, and you still take it. Takes a lot.
Yeah,
Takes
yeah,
a big person, really big and strong person to do that.
yeah. Yet another example of the dog not having to exactly be brute strength. Um, so what about Usopp?
Is there a tier below D?
Ah, what
Actually,
about when
actually,
he got hit
actually,
with the baseball bat?
you see, Bachi is looking kind of lonely. He only has Frieza. He needs to get surrounded. Put my boy Usopp right there.
Oh shoot, here
Thank
we
you. I
go.
love Usopp. No, don't get me wrong. Like this is not a reflection of how much I love him as a character. It's just so that it's just because he always like he does rise to the occasion a lot of the time, but oftentimes, especially recently, sometimes it's by accident,
Yeah,
and then
especially recently, it's
yeah,
awful.
and then other times it's just like, dude, you shouldn't be running away from fodder anymore. You shouldn't be screaming away from fodder. You've already done this plenty of times pre-time skip. Like you've leveled up, or you're supposed to have leveled up. So what is this? It makes no sense. So I'm taking out my frustration on his lack of character growth. So D.
Nice. What about Eduardo Elrico?
I mean, man literally lost an arm and a leg. Listen,
It's tough.
it's tough.
I
It's
think
tough.
I might put him at A
I
because
was
like
thinking A.
he's just below these like S tier guys where he's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
through a lot and his fights he's always like cutthroat, but Just not
Yeah.
not like really Ichigo like kind of
N-
fights, or Jotaro, like where he's really pushed to the brink completely, like, and you really had to
I
see
mean,
him
it's
like,
not even just like the fights, it's also like mentally and the
yeah,
nature of the challenges that they've had to face up there is very different from what he had to. So yeah.
yeah,
I like that we have a solid S tier, so then that way it's kind of like gatekeeping it a bit, so that anytime we get somebody, we can kind of
yeah.
measure up. Yeah,
Everything looking pretty solid now to where we kind of have a barometer. What about
yeah.
Aizen?
Isaac,
It's kind
Isaac.
of tough.
It is kind of tough because he's so overpowered and broken that I don't even know that he had. Because I remember when he realized that Ichigo was on his level just differently, he started stressing out because a lot of his bravado and confidence came from the fact that he felt like he didn't have anybody worthy to challenge him. And he
Yeah,
took special precautions by creating somebody like Wonder Wise to deal with Yamamoto. So to me, those are all traits of a D. That looking like a B type of energy to me. I don't know
yeah.
about
Maybe
you.
maybe like a B. I would put him at A, because like this is the thing, like with when you think of like people who have that dog in you, right? Like uh, I had this situation right once like a few years back at work where like there was this person, they had like so there was this girl, she had a boyfriend that was outside of
Oh,
work, and
here
he
we
would he
go.
would always come he would always come to like eat at the restaurant. And um and one day she ends up like kind of messing with one of the her coworkers at work, right?
Hmm.
And then we all found out, we literally told her like, look, we didn't know you had that dog in you. So it's, I look at Eisen the same way, where like you see him with the glasses in the first few seasons, and you're like, okay, he's a nice guy. You think that he's a cool captain. Can't wait to see what he can do. He seems like one of the nicest guys in the Soul Society. And then you see him slick the hair back, and you're just like, whoa, I didn't know you had that dog in you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I would put him at either B. Yeah, I would put him at B. I think B is good. Where like it's just like
Yeah.
he just has something in him that's different from the rest. He's definitely not like the C and D tier where they're just kind of not quite there yet. He has like that
Okay.
average dog, that unprecedented. He has that unspoken riz, as the kids say nowadays.
Spoken Riz.
Yeah.
I swear this new lingo be killing me.
What about Kuroko?
Kuroko, he wasn't scared to stand up to the generation of miracles, and he had enough backbone that he was considered to be on equal footing with all of them. So, but he's like very unassuming, and I
Maybe
don't
like A
know. Um, what?
or
Okay,
B.
so what would be your argument for A?
No, I don't know. I'm just like wondering
Yeah,
because like I'm
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 thinking more
confused
B.
too, because like
Yeah,
the thing is like he does in a sense have dog, because like he obviously trained really hard. He sucked that he couldn't like make a single point
yeah, he
in the
couldn't shoot,
game,
so he learned how to shoot
and he
with his
learned how
own
to shoot.
technique. Yeah,
And he obviously has some type of drive because he's able to literally enter the drive zone, right? The direct drive zone, like, so anybody that can enter that has dog. And the only reason why I would have A is because Kagami's an A. But then again, I think Kuroko has just a bit less dog than Kagami. So yeah, I agree. B. I think B is a good spot for him.
yeah,
What
yeah. I was
about
thinking.
Goku?
I
Son
mean,
Goku.
Goku. Kakaroto? Oh man. Ah, Kakaroto. Boy, oh my goodness. I just realized his name. Kakarot, carrot, orange. That's what, man. Okay.
Oh, don't
Uh
put him at D just because of that, man.
no, 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 no. No, as soon as something that just dawned on me, the color scheme. No, no, he's man. I mean, the Super Saiyan transformation, the first one against Frieza, that's a little definition of
Of Dawg.
I'm about to awaken the dog in me, bro.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna have to be S. It's probably
S.
gonna have to be S for Goku.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And he
He always
trains
does
so
that.
hard, bro. He
He
trains
trains
really
so
hard.
freaking hard. Like
Even when he's
it's
eating, he's got dog. He eats so much.
yeah, I know, I know.
He eats like a
In
dog.
fact, you know what? You see, I see his boy Vegeta. Put him right next to him
Yeah,
too.
we just
Yeah,
that's
he's right
automatic.
there.
Automatic,
Yeah,
bro.
automatic. Yeah.
Automatic.
Oh wait, you can put them in front.
Oh yeah. Okay,
You
so who
just
is
put
gonna be?
Vegeta in front.
Let me hold on.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So we can rank
Okay.
them. Okay.
Yeah. We'll do a quick ranking once we got it all together.
Yeah,
The rest of it.
perfect, perfect. I was like,
Who?
yo, I
Where?
can't remember. I can do that.
Listen, you're gonna hate me for this study, but Deku, come on, bro. I
Yeah,
think.
first of all, why'd you pick that picture, bro? That's not even nice. That's
Listen, bro.
bullying, bro.
This is an accurate representation of who he is.
No, that's Deku in his natural habitat. That's disrespectful.
For me, it's B or C, but I'll put him at whatever you think.
Oh yeah, I got him at a cool C. A cool
Okay.
C.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna disrespect him and put him at D, but yeah, C is cool
Yeah,
because
because he does work hard. You got to give him credit. He works hard and he
he
does push
works hard. Yeah. It's just
past
like
his
something
limits.
about his mindset, just I feel like it doesn't compare to the other ones. I know some people, oh my goodness, if the My Hero fandom happens on this, they're gonna kill us.
Hey, man, the My Hero fans, look, this is a series you actually should watch. Look at this. Where you got Ippo, bro?
Oh,
Talk about
dude, Ipo is
talk to me.
such a hard worker, man. Like he's so dedicated. Like he's putting so much blood, sweat, and tears into his craft and just like his life in general. He's like, if I can think of role models in anime, he's one of them.
Yeah,
So I'll put
he's
him
got a
in
lot of
A.
dog too. Yeah,
Yeah,
hey,
he's
I
got a
would
lot
at
of love.
least say yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got a lot of
I
A.
really like that we can rank them within the tiers now. Okay, so
Yeah,
King. Oh,
King. Ooh, oh
uh,
nah,
King is a
this
cool
dude.
dude. It's
Yeah,
over.
he's got zero
Yeah.
dog.
It's funny, he's right next to another capper. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Oh,
it.
this is a good one. I know you recently watched Fate Zero. What do you
Oh,
think
oh
about
yeah,
Kiritsugu?
Kiritsugu.
Hmm.
Kiritsugu is my goat. He see the what's so amazing about him, he understood that in order for peace to be, sacrifices are needed sometimes. And he was willing to be the executioner. And it kills him. This is the part that amazed me about his character is the fact that he still feels. Even after so many years of doing it, it still hurts him, but he understands he needs to do it. So, out of respect for that dedication, I am struggling not to put him in S. Put bro.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The disappointment. You were just like, bro, are you
I was
serious
like,
right now?
I don't even know what to say. Like,
No, I got it. Like, listen, one barometer I have, like, when, like, trying to see how much dog somebody has is like fights and, like, kind of like strenuous gym work because, like, then you're able to really see put to the test because, like, when I'm in the gym, right, and I'm
yeah.
squatting, like, the barbell,
Hmm.
um, so many people they don't even go near failure on the squat, right? Because there's this fear of like, man, if I fail this
If you
squat,
drop
like
it, yeah,
how
you're gonna, yeah, how you
yeah, you're
coming
gonna
back up?
die.
Hmm.
But like me, like it's always been like, bro, like that's the only way to train. If I
If I
drop the
die, I
weight,
die.
yeah, I'll just drop the weight. That's it. It is what it is. I'll just drop the weight on the ground. Same thing with like any. I mean, the other lifts are easier because bench you could be spotted. Deadlift, you literally just like drop it on the ground, or overhead press, you just like drop it down. But squat is one of those things where the weight is on top of you. So if it falls, you're falling with it unless you know how to like throw it off of you. So like, and even then, it's like still kind of a scary situation because it's just you're falling all over the place. It's kind of weird. So that's kind of a good barometer when you see people or like when Kiritsugu was fighting in that kind of Batmobile, kind of driveway looking place. He showed a lot of dog. He was just like calm, cool, collected. He was getting shot at. He was getting stabbed, and he was pushing through it. So he showed me a lot of dog in that fight. What do you think about Kobeni's car?
Why is that there?
Listen, bro. Kobeni's car got wrecked and came back from it, bro. I'm not gonna lie. People might hate on this, but I would give it a C. What would you give it, Teddy?
I, I what?
Cause listen, the car got destroyed, Teddy, in a wreck, and it came back. Look at it in its full glory. They're
Yeah, but
saying like,
it
look,
didn't came back off his own merit. It got fixed by other people. Why
yeah,
is the car there?
but just look at the energy. It's looking at you from like the side eye. You see the eye, like it's like, yeah, you see me, I'm back. It is what it is, you know.
Oh God, have mercy on my soul. I can't believe what's happening right now. You know what, man? Sure. You say what? See,
Teddy just gives
yeah.
up. Teddy just
I
gives up.
mean, yeah. I
Now,
don't know,
what
bro.
about Kobeni herself?
You know what's dude, you're disrespectful because I'm gonna put her in D. So this is very like you making me put her below her car. Like, why? That was oh man. I hate you for making me have to do this.
That's why I put the car in there because I knew the car was gonna be above some people. So for the people below the car, you have to face the disrespect of being below a
Less than a
car.
car. Oh man.
You have less dog than a goddamn car. Like, are you kidding me? You got to do better. Now, speaking of people who are not below a car, we have Light Yagami here. Where would you put him, Teddy? Or do you think he's below Kobeni's car?
Oh, come on, man. The man came up with so many clever schemes and machinations to achieve his goals and to enact his justice that he truly believed in. The man deserves S, clearly.
Let's
It
do
was
it.
way too much work he put into that.
Yeah,
Like the whole scheme of, oh, I'm ambidextrous, so just to thwart them, I'm going to write people's names in a bag of chips while I'm working on my homework at the same time. Like, come on.
yeah.
Iconic. Yeah, that's S.
Now, what about the Dark Ultraviolet Shadow King Monkey D Dragon?
That's another edgy I mean, people with all the edgy like
What do you mean,
iteration.
bro? This is his Dark Shadow mode.
It is his dark shadow mode. You're right. I don't know why I'm tripping. My fault. Um,
Oh god.
let's see.
Listen, the way he's looking in these latest chapters, he's looking like Kobeni, bro.
He's
Like
looking
he's sweating.
yeah, a little questionable. You know, the fraud allegations are building up against Dragon right now, so
Yeah.
he's gonna have to do something about them.
And there's that cool little theory where they were like, there's the god of since there's like four god devil fruits apparently, since they're tying it to quote in Skypiea where they say there's the god of the sun, of the forest, of the rain, and of the land.
Yeah,
So Luffy's the god of the sun, of course. Some people are speculating that Dragon is the god of the rain or something because he always comes when it rains. So I don't know why I'm even saying that. I don't know how that even ties into him having dog or not. But listen, the point is, it's alluded that he has a lot of power, so he has to have some kind of dog. But then lately, he just seems scared all the time. So I don't know, man. I'm tempted to put him at like B or C or something, sensitively. You know?
you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right because he's moving a little scared in the streets recently. I probably
Yeah,
put him at a good B. I've
yeah.
been thoroughly disappointed.
What about your boy, your homeboy Mineta, bro?
Yo, Mineta, he's also a Bieber for different reasons. Because he also be scared, but unlike a lot of other people, he always, you know, stands proud and he tries to make it happen regardless. Like he
Yeah,
says, listen, I know I'm not much, but I can do something. So that's
yeah.
the thing that I respect
Not
about him.
not much is pushing it for this guy. He's basically nothing. But
I mean, yeah.
what about Mob Psycho? Like
He
man,
literally has a numerical indication for these dogs. So I mean, I don't know what like how much more S does it get, you know?
yeah,
And what I respect so much about Mob 2 is the fact that in spite of the fact that he is so powerful,
yeah,
he still chooses to live life to his fullest without taking advantage of his powers. It's like, no, I want to be an exemplary and a fulfilled human being without using my powers. Because he could go the easy route, like like it would be nothing for somebody that has the kind of psychic powers he has.
Yeah,
to use his powers to make his life easier, but he chooses not to. That takes a lot of discipline.
yeah.
So
Like
yeah.
this is the thing. Like he uses his dog not to take away from other people. He uses his dog literally just to build himself. And I think
Yeah.
that answers the question from the beginning of like what's the difference between like the dark dog and the good dog or the light dog, right? Where like the Carl Jung talks about like there's it's the embodiment of evil. What separates the evil dog from the good dog? And I feel like Mob has found that where like what separates it, I feel, is when you're using the dog to develop yourself instead of using the dog to take advantage of others. And I know it sounds very simple, but I think that is the difference in it, and that is what kind of separates it. Now, what do we think about Naruto?
Ah, Naruto. Naruto, Naruto, Naruto. Um,
A? I would put A at least.
A. I was thinking A. I was thinking A for the simple fact that um like with the whole Sasuke situation, the fact that he was willing to go to the lengths he went to, I feel it was more so just like an obsession with a really close friend. So I wouldn't say, I mean, I could see some people probably would have given up at some point. They would have been like, nah, you know what? You're making this way more difficult than it needs to be. So I'm just gonna leave it be.
Yeah.
But he stood his ground. He said, no, you're my friend. I'm still gonna save you no matter what. But the reason why I want to put him in A is because I feel like the most challenging moment of his life that we've seen was when he lost Jiraiya. And he was he wasn't really able to get over that on his own. He had to speak with Shikamaru, who had gone through that himself, to kind of help him. Which, by the way, quick tangent, shout out to Shikamaru for being Naruto's real homie, not Sasuke,
Yeah.
regardless of what people may think. So there's that. So yeah, I have Naruto at A.
Now, Orihime, I think that she is somebody that had no dog in the
You
beginning of the
you know what?
series.
That's you, man. Go ahead. Like
And
everywhere, as long as you don't put her anywhere in S or A, I'm happy.
yeah, like that's actually where I was gonna put her. I was gonna put her in B because she developed the dog in her, especially during the Fullbring arc where she was put into a position where like Ichigo didn't have powers anymore, and she wanted to be able to protect him. So she's a person that, like you say, Teddy, like they don't have a bad bone in their body, right? But she's able to kind of harness that dog and turn her powers of healing into a power of like that can bring harm to others in order to protect the ones that she loves, and that in and of itself definitely warrants her a B because she does have dog in her. um Now, Ryuko Matoi from Kill La Kill. Now this is one that's I think she's screaming for A. What do you think, Teddy? Because she's got a lot of dog in her. She's definitely an outspoken, rough around the edges girl. She carries a big pair of scissors. She's always loudmouth and getting into fights, and she's like a dog, man. She's just like a crazy dog. Like she's always barking everywhere she goes and going crazy, getting into fights. Like
I mean, yeah, you're right,
she's not
right?
an S.
She's definitely not an S.
Yeah,
That's for
definitely not.
sure.
But
Like
she's
she's
got a lot
always
of dog.
willing to fight, right? But my issue is what kind of struggles has she faced and overcome to make her A? I look at everything that she went through. At least
Hmm.
with Kill I Kill, I feel the whole story was pretty lighthearted for the most part. I'd be cool with a nice B for her, but I don't
The
know,
nice
man.
B. Yeah, I would
What
say
do you
high.
think?
I would say high B, low A because like I said, like I mean the story was like is world ending type of stuff. Like she had to end up fighting. She fought. What was the girl's name?
Satsuki?
Satsuki Kiryuin. She fought
Yeah.
her so many times to like the brink of death, and she kept coming back like every single time. Like
You know
I
what?
feel like she's just as
Low
good as
A.
any A
Low
tier.
Low
Yeah,
A is
like
good.
she's basically where Kirishima's at because Kirishima is like the gatekeeper for B. I feel like he could be low A. So I feel like Ryuko's just a bit above that, where she had that one Kirishima fight, but she had that many times. Ryuko did. That's the
She
way I
did.
see it.
Mhm.
She had it many times, so that's why I would put her
Yeah,
A.
she got decimated and she kept coming back. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. That is true though.
yeah.
But it's just like something about the bombastic feel of Kill La Kill made it that I
Less
didn't
impactful.
it less yeah it didn't feel as heavy,
Yeah,
right? It was lighter, so that's why I was like, I don't know,
yeah. And it's been a
because
while since
like
I watched it too myself.
yeah, like it hasn't been too long since I watched it, but
I love
that's
that
what I
anime.
remember.
What do
It's
you
fun.
think about Shinji?
Shinji,
Oh God.
you know what? I don't even want to talk about him. D. Just put him in
Yeah,
D.
this dude's
I
just a
don't want to see
scrub.
his face. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
thank God it's cutting off half of his face.
yeah, I know. That's a great picture. I love it.
Now, what about Sailor Moon?
Honestly, I don't even recall. I like it's I was a kid when I watched Sailor Moon. I don't
Yeah.
remember how
Oh,
determined she was or
yeah.
how
This is gonna be
strong-willed
one
she
of them we
was.
just take at face value,
And
right?
based on what I can vaguely remember, it was a lot of fighting. I feel like just off of respect alone, it'd probably be like a B. But I don't want to sound disrespectful. Some Sailor Moon stan is gonna come in our comments to talk about she's an ass, you fools.
Yeah,
Don't you
you.
know what she had to do? Like, no, I
Yeah,
don't actually. I don't remember. So
yeah, yeah. I definitely think B is a good spot for her. Like Usagi is one of those good. Like she kind of is a good like not personification, but good like visual representation of the dog.
yeah.
Where like in her day to day life, she's literally just like a schoolgirl. Like she has this cute design that like is very like unassuming of a look that she has. And then once she becomes Sailor Moon, it's just very bombastic, flamboyant, and she's like able to, to basically destroy galaxies with her powers in order to save Earth and the Milky Way and the galaxy and all the things in between. So she's got some dog to an extent. She doesn't have that grit, that like clench your teeth grit to, I think, get these life or death razor close fights like the A and S tiers do. But she
Hmm.
does have that kind of dog, that healthy dog in her.
Yeah.
Now what about Sasuke? Sasuke Uchiha.
Sasuke. I mean, he was willing to risk getting his body possessed just for the sake of revenge. Off of that alone, I feel like he might deserve S,
Yeah.
honestly.
But then
And
again, my only argument is that like I look at the visual representation, or yeah, the visual representation a lot, right? And what happened every time that Sasuke and Naruto fought? Who showed more dog between the two of them? I think it was
uh
Naruto because Naruto was always the one that was literally the last one left crawling. He was crawling and still ready to fight, right? Where Sasuke was like, nah, nah, like this is crazy, bro. Like, where does this guy even get this? Like, it's not even Kurama at that point. It's just like it's him. It's in him. So like, I
yeah,
feel
but
like it's
that's more so like Naruto's fixation on Sasuke because he says that's the first bond I really created. Which
yeah,
again, that's a lie because Shikamaru exists, but just for the
yeah.
sake
That's
of
just a
drama, you know.
yeah. But what about Subaru? Your favorite MC?
You know what? I hate that I'm gonna do this because I actually hate him so much. He's not only is he S, he's probably somewhere around the Giorno and all that. Because simply because of the fact that he has that death thing where he just keeps dying and coming back, and he's died so many ways, so many horrible ways, and he retains the experiences and the memories of those lives and those deaths.
Yeah,
How he's not mentally broken at this point, I don't know.
it shows some
And
dog.
just off of that alone, I have to put him like up there, like in S. So yeah, I hate
No,
that I have to do this because I really, I don't think people understand how much I hate Super. But yeah,
now how about finally Yuji Itadori? You're gonna have to talk more
uh,
about this because I
he's
haven't
much
really
like
seen it.
JJK, kind of mid. I don't know.
Oh god,
Uh, you
not
know,
even B or C.
I no, I mean, I say B.
B.
I say
Man.
B, yeah, because I just don't feel that. You know, some characters you see them and you feel that energy from them. I
Yeah.
just don't feel that. I don't get that from him. So I think B is a good place for him.
Yeah. His fighting sense is so cringe in that picture. But
What you
okay,
mean,
so
cringe?
so it just looks awful. He looks so out of place. But okay, so where do you think we need to change this S tier? Who needs to go more forward
I,
a bit?
I
Let's try
would
to do this quick.
have um I'll probably put Subaru. Yeah. Yeah, perfect right there.
Right
No,
there.
yeah, right there. Yeah, that's perfect.
Anybody else needs
Uh
to move, you think?
you know what? I'm looking at Moomin Rider and I'm thinking this man really could have died. But then I'm looking at Ichigo and I'm like, this
And
man
he could
died.
have died multiple
But no,
times.
he
Or he
actually
did die.
died. Like he
He
actually
actually died
died
for it.
against Kiora. So yeah,
Asta
okay, so
though
that's
above
good.
Subaru? Yeah. Asta,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He had
yeah.
no power.
Um
I think I
Luffy
yeah.
Luffy has come back from with the poison back in Impel Down with the like he's taken so much abuse. Hey, wait, Luffy died. Gear 5. He
Yeah.
actually died too. I don't know that should be the metric for
Yeah.
like
Now
doing
we're
this,
just getting
but
into
it's like, have you died? No? Okay, so you get moved
you
back.
got no dog.
You got no dog,
What
dog.
kind of message are we giving to our viewers? We're like, hey man,
I
you gotta
know. It's messed up. Honestly, if we're going off of the experiences that people have had and overcome, do me a favor.
yeah.
Put Luffy next to Guts, and then put Ichigo next to Luffy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now let me look at
Yeah,
this.
that looks different. I think
That
I
is
would
good.
put Ippo
Yeah,
above
definitely. Definitely.
Naruto a bit Naruto above these two.
Yeah,
Maybe even above Mash. I haven't seen enough of Mash.
yeah, you need to. I can't wait for you to watch that and tell me how you feel. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm loving
Uh,
it so far.
no,
Yeah,
I
that's
love what
good.
I'm hearing.
Let's see. Oh God. Oh no, Hamapo, yeah, Hamapo,
Come on,
yeah.
man. Respect for El Mepo.
Mineta,
Please let
that
me
how the
know.
hell is Dragon above Mineta, bro? And all these people like Dragon. Come on, bro.
Ah,
Get out of here.
like,
Itadori as well. Itadori is below Dragon, bro.
like you struggling. It's like, who do I want lower? Itadori or Dragon?
Does
Yeah,
B
okay.
look good to you? I think
Yeah,
Kiroshima's perfect for.
B looks good. B look good. You know, actually, you know what? Loki. Um, you know, just I'm giving you like a little, you
Yeah,
know, little flower here. Put Kirishima behind like an
Rito.
A. Yeah,
Yeah,
behind Yuko. Yeah,
yeah. Because I'm telling you, like he does have that dog, man.
yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't belong with those B class.
It doesn't belong with the bums in B.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they not that y'all bums, of course, but you know,
yeah.
why am I talking to them like they can hear me anyway? So C, yeah, that looks good. That car, man, I don't know. I don't know. Did you really just put Bachi in front of everything?
Oh, look, you know who he's above?
That's there we go. There we go. That's perfect. That's
There we go.
beautiful. Yeah, you know what? This is looking solid. I like it. I like it.
What about Usopp above Frieza?
Yeah, you're
I
right
think
because
Kobeni above
Frieza
King.
is yeah. Kobeni, she was see the thing about Kobeni, like she's so annoying, but then when she gets down,
She
she
gets
get
down.
down. So I don't.
And that's that
Uh,
dog. That's what I'm saying. That's what the dog
yeah,
is all about.
but most like that's the problem. We only saw that once. The
Yeah.
entirety, the rest of her character is all that. So
Hmm.
D is perfect for her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's good. I think we got a good list. You know, Shinji, your buns, your series is buns and overrated. And you know, anybody that disagrees, fight me. Actually, you know what? We should probably do an episode on the Evangelion at some point because apparently it's supposed to be philosophically very deep. All the themes and everything. I just don't see it.
Yeah. We could definitely get into it. There's definitely some more videos that we're coming out with soon. Next week we're gonna be discussing Bleach and Kierkegaardian grief, which is gonna be interesting. And we have another topic after that lined up. We have a kind of things coming up. Stoicism, I definitely want to talk about that. We've been talking about that so much on the podcast, but just in kind of spurts. So I want us to get into that. You know, Stoicism is a big philosophical concept that we're only going to be scratching the tip of the iceberg of with the first video. So I just wanted us to get it out of the way first, kind of like with the shadow. Like this is literally part two of the whole shadow.
It
It's just
is.
a
It
derivative
actually
of it.
is.
So
Yeah.
in that same sense, stoicism I feel like is gonna follow, and it's gonna be a big topic that's gonna come up again. And the innate versus dormant kind of abilities or attributes, human attributes, that's definitely interesting. I feel like we kind of came to an understanding during during this topic, which is funny, but it can definitely be explored more and explained more because I feel like we understand what we're saying, but maybe like it can be hard to kind of grasp without like a full explanation for anybody that's obviously not in our minds and our ramblings. But yeah, this is how the tier list is looking. It's looking great. So this is what you're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen, is a tier list of who's got that Dawg, the anime characters who have the most Dawg. And in this podcast, you know, it was a good one. It was the longest one we've had in a while, and we went through kind of how to harness your inner dog. What is the dog, you know, or the shadow by Carl Jung? What is grit? What is you know, human perseverance and determination? How you can harness it, kind of our just jumbled thoughts on it. And we hope that, you know, this was a fun stream for you guys to watch, a fun podcast for you guys to listen to, and we hope that this stimulated your minds as much as it did ours, because that's the main aim of this channel, man. Just to, you know, promote conversation and promote thought. So, any do you have any last words for the people, Teddy?
No, I mean, I hope that this kind of open up the door for more conversation as usual. I can see a trend with that happening already with some of our previous uploads. So that's great. That's what we want more of every time. So yeah, by all means, if you happen upon this and it jots your mind, anything comes up that you want to share with us, by all means, please do. We always welcome it.
Yeah, and definitely let us know. How do you think is the best way to harness your inner dog? And how have you experienced the dog? I don't think this is the last that we'll see of the dog. Maybe we may see a dogometer, you know, making its way into the channel
Ooh.
at some point. But but yeah, man, and let us know if you like this format, because this is definitely a different format than what we've been doing. Obviously, we're always gonna, you know, talk about the topic at hand, but throwing in a tier list every now and then to spice things up and kind of you know, just talk anime every now and then is, I think, is fun and keeps things interesting too. So let us know what you think. Thank you for all the support we've been getting, all the subscriptions, likes, comments, and thank you for sharing your thoughts on our latest shorts. We definitely do appreciate it. Obviously, we will comment back with our thoughts, but it's never from a place of like, you know, oh, you think this way, you disagree, screw you. It's always from a place of like, you know, like we're just happy that people are sharing their thoughts, and we're happy to share ours back and kind of have that discussion and not discord, but discourse. Um, and yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, you like that, Seti?
I like that. Yeah. That's a bar.
Yeah. But with that, we're gonna head out of here, and we will catch you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.